What is up, guys? So we are here outside at the event and I had to park so far away. It's gonna take me probably like 5 minutes almost to walk all the way inside. Like, it's so busy here. It's in an outdoor shopping center where I am. I'm going to a Barnes & Noble, and today we are going to go and see Stacia Stark celebrate her newest release, We Who Will Die. I'm really excited for this one. I did love her Kingdom of Broken Lies series, and I'm also getting to meet author Brynne Weaver, whom I've never read any of her work before. It's about an hour before the event starts, so let's get in a little bit early, maybe do some shopping, and hit up the event. Hello and welcome back. This week I got to go to a very special book signing event with authors Stacia Stark and Brynne Weaver. The Stacia Stark and book signing event was actually a celebration of Stacia's latest book, We Who Will Die. And of course, while I was there, I had to peruse the shelves and look around because you never know what you're gonna find. So I can confirm I found some stuff. But first, before we get into the book haul, I do want to chat about this wonderful event. So as I mentioned, this book event was held to celebrate Stacia's latest book release, We Who Will Die, which is, from what I understand, a vampire fantasy romance set in like a gladiator arena kind of vibes. I love vampires. I'm so here for them. I'm usually not a gladiator person, not gonna lie, so I have not read Circe, I have not read the Bond of Hercules, just because it's just not, I don't know, like, Greek mythology is great, but it's just never something that I really want to read, desire to, which is funny, because my name is Cassandra, and I was named after Cassiopeia from Greek mythology. Anyways, a simple synopsis of my event time. The event was held at 6 p.m. on a Friday. It was super quick for me to get there. I live about 40 minutes from the event space, and when I got there, I realized it was at an outdoor shopping center to access the Barnes & Noble. That's where it was held, and it was packed. I had to park so far away. I think I ended up parking like a quarter mile away, which doesn't seem terrible, but January in Chicagoland kind of isn't fun to walk around in. So I got to the Barnes & Noble, I kind of looked around a little bit because I had about a half hour before the event started, and when I realized that I had to check in for the event first, I kind of panicked. I knew that there was limited seating, and then there was standing room available, and I didn't care if I had to stand or not, but it was just more like, oh no, I have to check in. So I got into the checkout to the customer service area, and I got to check in, and then once I secured my spot, I ended up looking around the store and I found some really cool stuff. Brynne and Stacia arrived and had the most, probably like the best authors in conversation that I've ever been to, which was really exciting. Of course, we talked about Stacia's latest book, We Who Will Die. This is what the book release was for. She revealed like how she found out. She made not just the New York Times bestsellers list, but the Times bestsellers list as well, which I guess is harder, more challenging to rate or rank on as an author. So that was really cool. And you could tell how she was so in shock and with like overwhelmed and happy that she made it to that point in her career. Once the event was over, or the talking portion of the event, it was time to go upstairs and have our books customized. So when we got there, the book was already signed by Stacia. We were given the opportunity to stand in line, and we could have our books customized with our names and whatnot in it. And of course I'm going to do that. While I was waiting in line to have my book customized, I met the most lovely woman, Kathy. If you're watching this, you're amazing. I had such a great time chatting with you. Kathy was a librarian at the Chicago Public Library, and she had some really awesome stories about experiences, her time as a librarian there, And we also bonded over our interest in books that were outside of the fantasy genre. I always love going to these events because you never know who you're going to chat with. And it was really nice to chat with somebody that had other interests, not just fantasy or romance fantasy. We also got to talk about our TBR list, and she also is building her own home library too. Now, there is one real star of this whole event, and that was Stacia's handbag. It was amazing. She was adorable. It was a miniature book version of her newest released We Who Will Die, and it was blinged out, like bedazzled to the nines. It was amazing, front and back, and it was just absolutely perfect. I'm inserting a picture here so you can see it, and it was literally the star of the events. So as promised, I got my book signed and customized. She drew me a little heart, which I thought was very sweet. So by Stacia, and this is amazing. I love going to these author events because you really get to like see somebody in person. You can tell them thank you directly, and you really see them getting like emotional about it. And like I can see that she really appreciates her fans. And it was just so cool to be a part of it. I picked up the tickets last minute because I was waiting to see how bad the weather was going to be. Chicago weather in January finally turns to be winter, and it ended up being a very mild Friday night, which I was so grateful for. Also in conversation at this event with author Stacia Stark was Brynn Weaver. She wrote Tourist Season. She also wrote the Butcher and Blackbird series, which I have not read yet. Actually, I've never read any of Brynn's books, so this will be a first. And it was amazing. She too signed it for me, customized it, and I love this. So it'll be fun to see Brynn's work for the first time and experience it. She does like horror, romance. I don't know how to explain it. Suspenseful romance filled with deliciously dark humor and slow burn tension. Now, this kind of romance I've never read before, and it's usually not my cup of tea. I'm not a big slasher horror film person, but I do like gothic. So if I think of it in terms of gothic horror, perhaps it'll like click with me. But anyways, I'm really excited to read this book. I know it's been huge, and the second one just came out, something about autumn, which was really cool. And so, yeah, I've got my newest signed editions. But that is also not the only signed edition. I picked up The Bond That Burns by Briar Bolin. It is a signed copy as well. This is the first book, or sorry, this is the sequel to The Bonds That Bind. This is book 2 of the Bloodwing Academy series. And the last book that I picked up is A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. She also wrote this is book 2 of her, I forget what the series is called, Saga of the Unfainted. But the first book is called A Fate Inked in Blood, and I have not read that one yet. So I picked up book 2 of 2 series, and I've already have book 1 of these series on order, which I'll probably have and do in another haul video for you later. And that is all that I have to report back from my event with Stacia Stark. I am going to end the vlog here so that I have time to edit it and get it up for you tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know, like, have you been to an author event before? Do you prefer them? I always do, so I always really try to make them whenever I can. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.